Hi, Ellen.
Hey guys,
Hello.
Hello, sorry for running late.
Hey,
hey Jay.
Hello, how is it going? It's been long time, Alan.
I know, JJ. Man, it's just been busy on my side, but finishing up a commute. So apologies, I'm in the car and maybe have some background noise.
no, it's pretty good actually. We can hear you.
Okay. First.
I was just editing things. Ellen, did you have any topics in mind before we go through agenda?
Hey, yeah, apologies, I didn't get to fill in the agenda there, the notes, but just two real items. One is related to Gator and using it against the gatekeeper mutators. It seems to be something that it supports, but I just had a couple questions on how to verify some of that capability. And then the second one, I'm not sure if you guys can comment or have any insight, but the announcement that came out of Styra and OPA, about some of the folks moving to Apple, it seems like everything's just going to fall under CNCF, but I'm wondering if what gatekeepers implication, if anything. But just curious. It may be too soon, also. But yeah, just those two items. We can talk about the Gator stuff first. Okay, so for the Gator area, it's like I see there's verification and examples in the docs about using like Rego constraint templates and constraints themselves within a suite to verify the Gator suite, or the test that you put against your policy. But for mutation, would that still apply for mutation? Because I think that mutation seems to talk more about validating your actual constraints and templates with Gator, but not really too much about the mutations that Gator side. So is that a supported avenue, and or if not, are there other approaches to verify mutators with Gator to make sure that the mutation actually happens, or it doesn't happen on objects or resources that it shouldn't apply the mutation on?
Yeah, Gator supports mutation. You can do Gator expand, and then you can see that the mutation goes through. It's in the docs. I was just looking at it. So you basically provide the mutation and then the other resources, and then the final output from Gator should be the one that's after being mutated.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I think I understood that part. It'll generate the mutated object, but to verify that, at scale in an automated fashion, I think Gator Verify has a capability of using, frankly, a constraint, or I should say, constraints and constraint templates to verify, whatever mutation I might want to validate.
Right.
Is that verify capability will that work for mutators? I guess.
I might be missing something here, Sartaj, but I think getter expand is for verifying expansion template, right? I don't think we have anything, or at least I'm not aware if we do, which is kind of weird, to say that, hey, this is an assigned metadata mutator, getter mutate with assigned metadata, a pod template. I don't think we have that in getter, right?
Yeah, I think so. We have that in expand. So like with the expansion template, and then the example is you basically provide a deployment, and then a mutator, and then the resulting one is the one that's after it gets mutated.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah,
like
yeah.
you can
Mutating.
validate. So like this, so you can basically use both at the same time. You can use Gator expand and then Gator. I forget which one, test or verify, whichever doesn't have the suites. So you can run through both of them. So like that might be a thing you can do, Alan. So like use Gator's expand, validate the mutation. I mean, only if it fills into that expand sort of use case, and then you can validate that the mutation did indeed work through by writing a validation policy through Gator.
Through Gator, right?
Um,
Okay.
I'd be curious because I don't think I remember seeing any uh, reference of mutations in Gator code. I think it only refers to OPA client and frameworks.
Yeah, I think
So
this is the example we have in the Gator expand. Gator test or verify, I don't think that works with mutation, but I think what I was saying was you can validate the final output. Say like the example here is mutating the image pool policy to change it to always, right? So then you
Yep.
basically mutate and then have the resulting deployment pod, whatever. Say, hey, I want to see the image pool policies always, right? And then you write a validation policy to check, hey, does the pod have always image pool policy? So then you validate both flows.
And so Gator Verify would do the validation with
Yep. Yeah.
a
So the
constraint.
Gator validate or verify whatever it's test or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Only validates, hey, is the image pool policy always?
Yeah.
hmm.
So that means
Okay.
that Gator expand generated a pod spec that has image pool
Yep.
policy always, and then
Yep.
Gator verify validated that image pool policy is indeed always. So something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I'll have to play with what the input for that verify is. You know, do I just feed it that pod generated mutated manifest, or I guess I can look at that.
Yeah, but this is only for like a very specific use case though. So if you're looking for assignment, like some cases we might not like if Gator expand doesn't work, then that might not work.
Yeah.
So if you're mutating something that is not like can testable
Expandable.
with Gator expand, then we don't cover that in Gator yet.
I got you. I got you. So
Yeah.
the expand capability doesn't cover every resource.
Yeah, it's just for like the deployment stateful sets and like anything that's like a higher level that generates other resources. I think they're like about 7 in Kubernetes. Um, but if you are say have a namespace, then you're trying to mutate by adding a label to a namespace, that won't work in that. Like there's Gator doesn't allow for testing mutation like that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'll keep exploring. Yeah, and do some validation on those capabilities.
Yeah, please open an issue if in Gatekeeper if there's not one already.
Yep. No worries. I think an alternative was just to use kind of a script to you have an expected manifest that you know is going to get mutated or not get mutated, and just verify it with the generated, and just do a bash compare or diff.
Yeah, and then what is your like the
If it
full
will
scenario that might
uh,
be good to discuss? Oh, I think we lost you.
but it's only mutated resources, but so I think not wrong.
You're getting cut off, Ellen. That might be the car.
Yeah, I can't hear you clearly.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
great before.
my bad, guys. Yeah, no, I said I'm gonna try. We're only mutating pods at the moment, so if if Gator supports the pod resources, then we should be okay to explore the verify, the expand.
Yeah, if you have like any higher level resources than pod, like deployment stateful sets and whatever, then you might be able to use it.
Yep. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and feel free to open an issue if it doesn't, or just we can talk chat next call.
Yep. Yep. Cool. And yeah, for my second item is really I don't know if there is any impact to like how Gator but curious if you guys have any insight or feedback to that announcement.
Yeah, I have no insight, but I don't think there will be any
Okay.
impact because it's a CNCF project. Yeah.
Yeah, I think CNCF does a pretty good job of like managing their projects, right? That are especially because it's graduated and all that stuff. So okay,
Yeah.
cool. That was it, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, I just saw the announcement yesterday, just like you did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like I'm not in the open source kind of community. I'm only a consumer, but I always pay attention to like these type of things, and I'm like,
No,
I
that's a
wonder
great
why.
question. Yeah, definitely. That's great that you saw that. Yeah, good question.
Yeah. I mean, what's cool is what it seems to be cool is the enterprise version of OPA that's under Styra is planned to be moved under CNCF and open source. So
Yeah.
there's capabilities in OPA that I want for like decision logs that we use for another service, not gatekeeper related. That would be great, because we don't have the enterprise obviously, but want to explore if I can leverage some of those features if it does become open source. So that's cool. But yeah, that's it, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry.
Of course.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool. That brings me to my item. So I wanted to talk about uh, and get your thoughts about having enforcement action be integrated with how we sync right now. So, for example, right now, if there is only uh, if right now the syncing capabilities are mentioned at constraint template level and the enforcement actions are at constraint level, and if let's say a constraint template and constraint are audit only, meaning they don't get invoked at webhook time, the webhook pod will still uh, sync all those resources and bloat in memory. So I was wondering if we can utilize the enforcement action design and integrate it to SyncSet.
Is there an open issue for this one, Jay?
I don't think so.
Can you talk more about it? Sorry, I didn't fully understand it.
Yeah, of course. So right now, when we define a constraint template with syncing resources, right, like
Mhm.
audit pod and controller manager pod both will talk to API server and get those resources into respective cache, since the cache is not shared between those two pods, right? Now, there are cases, right? Like with scoped enforcement action, it is possible to only define a constraint with audit or with webhook, like, right? Like it won't be, it was not possible earlier. And now in some of the cases where a constraint that is syncing resources is running in audit only mode, the control manager will still sync all those resources and bloat itself up,
I see.
even though it doesn't need to.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that basically introduces performance issue where sometimes it may be possible that those ports are getting killed or consuming a lot of memory even though they don't need to.
Yeah. So you're saying controller manager should not cache when scoped enforcement action is audit only?
Yeah, and vice versa. Basically, we should try to optimize the syncing capabilities that we offer because it is one of the most memory consuming functionality.
Yeah, this kind of sorry. This kind of reminds me of like a audit match kind only case.
Yeah,
So then, but then if there is one constraint, or sorry, one scoped enforcement action that doesn't have audit only, then we'll still need to sync everything, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense to me. Yeah, yeah, it's literally the same thing as the audit match kind only, I think.
Yeah, I'm just making a note.
Yeah, I think, and then you can take a look at the logic there. Yeah, we default to off, if I remember correctly, and then if there's anything that either doesn't specify it, or if there is um it doesn't specify it, or if there's one policy that syncs sorry, that has like a more than it needs, it syncs everything, I think.
Yes.
What would be the use cases for that? This one, what in what conditions we want all the policies to be in audit only, or vice versa?
It's it's one for like users who are facing this issue where they are sinking some resources, and the number of resources are getting synced are unreasonably high, right? Then rather than having both the pods in a state where both of them can get killed, having only one pod take that risk while other one still can maintain the functionality of it might be helpful. And that is up to the users to decide what to do with that, because like from what I understand is uh, it depends on the functionality. If the admission things are very sensitive, then users might choose to run these type of policies in audit only mode while keeping the possibility that controller manager port won't bloat enough to get killed.
Yeah,
And if some teams are sensitive to audit results, then they might choose to run these on controller manager port and sync resources in that port only.
yeah. But is there any like policies that we can think of that's just like, hey, we should only run this on audit? But I think you're just saying it's like, hey, we can offer this
Y-
as a functionality if anybody has like a need
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, because I think I saw an issue that Noah created around, and I think we discussed this before as well. I'm trying to find that issue.
So I mean, this is kind of like running Gatekeeper as audit on like the just audit pod and then not the controller manager. Wouldn't this is similar thing?
Yeah, but I mean, think like what if people want to use the controller manager code anyways, right? Like, what if they wanna do like what if they wanna validate the admission request too, but not use the sync functionality for that admission request? We currently, I don't think, have a flag for that, right?
For the let me see. For the scoped enforcement action, do we have can we turn off sync? Let me
No,
see.
we can't right now.
Okay. Do I mean I guess maybe do would we want to introduce a scope enforcement action for sync?
I don't think so.
Let me see. Where did we add the docs? Yeah, enforcement points. Okay. So in this case, we say audit.gatekeeper.sh enforcement point, and then we say only
I
audit.
pasted I pasted the issue in the chat.
Oh,
Uh,
um, I don't see. Did you put it on the notes?
Sorry, meeting doc. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
Um,
Yeah, Jay, can I ask a clarifying question?
Yep.
Um, so the issue is if there's an audit pod that's doing the audit capabilities, the controller manager doing the validating admission, um, but you want to leverage the sync capability of Gatekeeper to, reference existing objects in that you define that you want to be able to reference, um, and both pods in that scenario today they're both going to sync those objects and the possibility of getting them right. Okay. And
Yeah.
I guess you're suggesting there should be a way to at least only have one of them sync. Which one needs to sync? Like, is it just the audit part? Because that's never been clear to me. Of like, is it the audit that's doing the syncing and the the constraint template policy references the cache of the audit pod somehow?
So both the pods right now
Or cache?
uh, cache, yeah, cache
yeah, and
Got it.
everything.
one of them is the admission decisions. The other one is audit. So that's why both will need the data.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it should
Gotcha.
be up to the users on however they want to configure it, but I'm saying we should at least offer that functionality to turn off sync
I see.
uh, if we are not syncing.
But
And audit needs to sync so that it can do its audit, sweep,
Yeah,
and still use the synced objects. Okay.
right. But so I think my question is, if you specify, if you do any sort of like validation, then this will be moot. That's the part
what do
I'm
you mean?
confused about.
What do you mean? Any sort of validation?
Because say you have a constraint template, right? And then you add, say it's not sync, it's just some other random thing. And then it has like a enforcement action is like deny, right?
Hmm.
How would we know that that pod doesn't need the data replication?
Yeah, you. This is a great question. So I was thinking, like we already know because the constraint template will have those annotations. So we know that whenever constraint, whatever constraint belongs to that constraint template with those annotations, right? So we only need to scope ourselves to the constraint templates which has sync annotations and then check for the constraints. And if any of them belonging to that constraint template accesses the accesses all the enforcement point or primarily webhook and audit enforcement point, then we sync those resources to both the pods and respectively
Yeah.
like work vice versa.
But I think that the sync annotations are like optional. They're not required.
Then we
I think
might.
they're mostly like for just for the user. I don't think they do anything today. I think the idea was that we could automatically create sync sets from the annotations, but I think it's just more like information. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if you can like tell, hey, we don't need sync functionality easily.
Yeah,
But and then I think it's more like, and then if you have any sort of validation policy, because we really can't tell. So that means like, hey, we want to put the cluster in audit only. That's basically the same as deleting the controller manager.
yeah, but I mean, I do think there might be some way for us to tell if like either of them are not using using the respective enforcement points. Yeah, there is no sync set to constraint template relation also, right?
No, I think the annotations are on the. No, I don't remember. Let me see if I read it. Did we document the annotations? I don't know if we did. They're in the library for sure.
I do think that they are required, right? Because I remember like a while back writing some and
Are
I
you talking
needed
about the
to.
required sync data? It's not required.
Yeah,
No, it's not required. It's just more info. We don't even validate them. It's just more information. Um, honestly, I don't think there's any docs no,
yeah, there is.
there is a it's in Gator docs. Yeah, we should
Wow.
definitely document this. Yeah, I don't. If I remember correctly, we don't do anything with it. I think the idea was that we would automatically create sync sets from that data, but that has not been implemented. Even then, that will be optional because then it'll be breaking change if you did require it.
But I think they are required for getter sync test, right? Or even that is
Uh,
not.
I that could be. I don't remember that one. Certain requests and keep use the annotation to keep. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think that could be required. Yeah, because that's like specifically for those annotations, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Just add to the issue like the whatever like the design would be like it on a high level, right?
Yeah,
Because
let me dig this a little bit
yeah,
deeper to see what can be done about this.
yeah. I
Uh,
don't think we can do that easily. Because we
yeah,
can't really tell if something requires sync. And then if you have any validation policy with like any sort of effect that if you're not using scoped enforcement actions to like specifically to 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 do something, then I think that'll be invalid for like most cases.
I'm just taking a note for the next steps. Okay. Copy paste it to the issue so that I have a note of and I don't need to look for these in the meeting note. Okay. And the next one was, so I think currently we have milestone. Where is milestone? Just give me a second. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So I was wondering if you wanna add graduating sync set to beta in the milestone, this or the next one. Any? I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was coughing earlier. Can you, Anishu, can you detail what are the things we want to target or things has to reach the beta? Anlan might be able to help too. I think that requiring data might be one of them. I don't remember now what we talked about at the time, but so like, what do we want to reach beta? Like, or are we done? Can we call it beta? Let's think about that in the issue.
Okay, cool.
Uh, and then I think the other question is what do we do on about the config? But I think we put too much stuff in the config. So
I don't think we can deprecate config.
yeah,
The
that's gonna be hard. I wish we created a new thing for the exclusions, not overload config. Yeah. Or not called syncs config. It should be called sync or something. Yeah. Yeah, past mistakes.
take that. uh, I don't think we can actually. We probably might be able to deprecate the sync functionality from config map. I don't think we do change anything about it anyways. Um,
Yeah, like, do we want to migrate from config sync
But
to
then
sync sets, or like provide like either auto migration or
I think it's under alpha, so I don't know if we want to spend.
yeah. It's been
Uh,
like alpha for like so long though. So I think the problem is people do use it as like a like dependable thing because it's been there for like so long. That's also another mistake, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I think
uh,
we never get a request for it to graduate, so it's just kind of kept alpha.
yeah.
Yeah, I think like let's think about it for like for the sync sets and the sync. Do we want to like auto migrate to sync sets and then graduate that?
Auto migrate as in bake
Create a
the
new
code
sync sets like
the
when gatekeeper
controller
sees
itself.
config, takes the sync stuff out, creates a new sync set.
I yeah, I think it's possible, but I don't know how much engineering effort it will require.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be some because we need to look at the existing resource and then make sure that we have a sync set. Yeah, so can you add that to the sync set graduation issue? Um, yeah, like what are the things that we want to track for? Look at the past issues too, like what we talked about it for the sync set. Yeah, check with Anlan too. Yeah,
Uh, sync set, what are sync set data requirements? I'm just making a note.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna ping unlearn. So I think we discussed listing beta requirements on the issue and figuring out past asks and discussions on what do we want, and
yeah,
possibility migrating from config sync to sync set. Okay, cool. Yeah, I pasted that in the issue itself.
yeah. Look at the past issues. I think that's probably like a good to start with. Or the past discussions about sync sets.
Yeah, I think I only had these two things to discuss. So, do you have anything in mind to discuss?
No, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. Then I'll just bug you for PR reviews once
Cool.
I
Yeah,
have.
sounds good. Thanks, Jay. See ya.